Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Good afternoon. Today we are going to understand conditional mood. Okay, in the previous videos we have understood what is subjunctive mood in English. Today we will understand conditional mood. Let's dive into the concept. Okay, now what is a conditional mood? Yes, conditional mood is used to express a situation that depends on a condition. Okay, in simple words, if something happens, then something else will happen. Okay, structure if plus condition, okay, the clause, then the result. Okay, if plus the condition and then the result. So conditional mood is used to express a situation which will be based on a condition. We have understood the structure. Now let's understand the concept. Okay. Now let's understand the various types of conditional sentences. Various types of conditional sentences. First is zero conditional. Okay? Zero conditional, general truths. Okay? Zero conditional sentences are used for general facts, general truths. Okay? Universal truths. Clear? Structure will be if plus present simple tense. Okay? So, for example, if you heat water, it boils. So, whenever we heat the water, it boils. It is a what? It is a fact. It is a universal truth. So, first, it is a zero conditional statement. Okay? So, zero conditional statements are always used for what? Facts which are universal truth. Okay? Very easy. This was the first type of conditional sentences. Conditional mood. Second is first conditional. Okay? First conditional is used for real possibility. Okay? For the future. Used for real and possible situations in future. The structure will be if plus present simple will plus the base verb. Okay? For example, if you study hard, you will pass. Okay? Since we are understanding conditional mood, okay, and first conditional will always be for the future. Yes, so if is the condition, if you study hard, okay, present simple, then what will happen in the future? You will pass. Okay, you will pass. So it is a future conditional which is in present simple along with the base verb, and we use the will here along with the base verb. Okay, so this is what type 2 of conditional mood, that is first conditional. Okay, let's move on to the third type of conditional mood, that is the second conditional. Okay, it is used for what? Unreal or imaginary present. Okay, used for unreal or hypothetical situations. Structure is if plus past simple would plus base verb. Okay, if plus past simple plus would and then the base verb. The first conditional was using will here. In the second conditional they will be using as would here. For example, if, yes, since we are understanding conditional mood, always if will be used. If I were rich, it is what? Past simple. I would travel the world. If I were rich, I would travel the world. So it is a hypothetical situation. Okay, using past simple along with if. So it is what? Second conditional. Okay, now let's understand the next type, that is the third conditional. Okay, which is used for what? Unreal past. Used for past situations that did not happen. Okay, used for past situations that did not happen. What will be the structure? Structure is if plus past perfect would have, okay, plus the tree. Okay, for example, if she had studied, she would have passed. Okay, if she had studied, she would have passed. Okay, so it is what? If plus past perfect. If she had studied, yes, then she would have passed. Clear? So here they are using what? The situations that did not happen. Okay, used for past situations that did not happen. Because she did not pass. She would have passed if she would have studied. Yes or no? All right. Okay. Now the most important is mixed conditional. Okay. The most important part is mixed conditional. So mixed conditional means combination of past condition plus present result. Okay. For example, if I had studied medicine, I would be a doctor now. So along with the past condition, if I would have studied medicine, I would be a doctor now. So I'm talking about the present result. So it is called as mixed conditional. Okay. So there are important rules here. Use where instead of was in formal sentences. Okay. So if I was you, that will be wrong. Okay. We will be using if I were you. Okay. So we have to use where instead of was here. Clear? Please remember the mixed conditional. It's very, very important because in exams we tend to see such questions. Okay, both in speech, voice. Clear? So why we are studying these? Because the very common topics in English, that is active, passive voice or direct, indirect speech or various types of sentences, for example, conditional sentences, where we are using this conditional mood, it is very, very important for us to understand which type of first conditional, second conditional, or it is zero conditional or mixed conditional. That is why this topic is very, very important. That is conditional mood. Okay, that's why I have bought this topic. Okay, the continuation of the important rules. Okay, first one, we have understood that we have to use where instead of was. Next is avoid using will in the if clause. Okay, if you will study, that is what? That is wrong. If you study is correct. Okay, next is unless is equal to if not. Yes, unless is equal to if not. Unless you hurry, you will miss the train. Okay, unless you hurry, you will miss the train. It means you have to hurry, okay, to catch the train. Unless you hurry, you will miss it. Okay, so these are some important rules. First was where instead of was. Avoid using will in the if clause. Yes, then unless is, that is unless you hurry, which means if not you hurry, yes, you will miss the train. Okay, so now let's understand one by one MCQs. What is the first question? If I dash enough money, I will buy a car. If I dash enough money, I will. So it is what? Future. It is describing the future tense. Yes, which will be correct? If I dash enough money, I will buy a car. Having, will have. Now tell me, have or had? Which one will be the correct one? The answer is have. Okay? If I have enough money, it means future tense is there. I will buy a car. It means present tense plus the future. Yes? So if I have, first conditional, present plus will. Okay. Next question. If she dash harder, she would pass. If she dash harder, she would pass. Which condition is this? She would pass. If she studies harder, she would pass. If she studied, had studied. If she had studied harder, she would pass. Which will be the correct one? Let's check the answer. If she studied harder, that is second conditional. Okay, second conditional, that is unreal present. Okay, unreal present. Let's move on to the next question. If they had left earlier, they dashed the train. If they had left earlier, they dashed the train. So it is what? The past condition and the present outcome. Yes, so present outcome. Which condition is this? If they had left earlier, had left, that is what? Simple past, they dashed the train. If they would have caught. Yes, if they had left earlier, they would have caught the train. Yes, third conditional. Okay, next question. If water dash, it turns into steam. If water dash, it turns into steam. This is what? This is zero conditional, universal truth. Yes, we use for facts. We use for universal truths. What will be the answer here? This is what? Facts. We use for universal truths. Yes, so if water dash, it turns into steam. If water heats, heated, is heated, will heat. It turns. If water heats, it turns into steam or heated. Which will be the answer? Which will be the answer? Is heated. Okay? If water is heated. This is zero conditional, general, truth, passive form. Okay? If water is heated, it turns into steam. Okay. If I were you, I dash that job. If I were you. So we are using this were instead of what? Instead of was. So this was an important rule. If I were you, I dash that job. Accept, will accept, would accept, accepted. If I were you, I would accept that job. Yes, explanation is there. Second conditional. Yes or no? It's an advice. Clear? Next question. If he dash harder, he would have succeeded. Okay? If he dash harder, he would have succeeded. If he had studied harder, studying, he would have succeeded. If he had studied, yes, explanation is third conditional. Okay. Unless, you remember, unless equal to if not, that is also an important rule. So, unless you dash now, you will be late. Unless you leave now, you will be late. Yes, unless you will leave now, which will be the correct one? Leave or will leave? Leaving left is wrong. Yes, leave is the correct one unless you leave now. So, if not now, you will be late. Yes or no? So, unless you leave now, that is present tense. Okay. Next question. If I dash wings, I would fly. Okay. If I dash wings, I would fly. Something in future. Okay. So, if I dash wings. Yes. So, if I had wings, I would fly. Explanation is what? That is about the unreal situation. That is what? That is for the second conditional. Okay. Next question. If she had worked hard, she dash successful now. Okay. It means something in the past. Okay. And the present outcome. Okay. Now is there? Yes. So if she had worked hard, she dash successful now. She is successful now. She would be successful now. Will be, was. She would be successful now. That is what? That is mixed conditional. You remember the mixed conditional? Past and the present outcome. Okay. Next question. If it rains, we dash at home. If it rains, we dash at home. If it rains, we dash at the home. Stay, stayed, will stay, would stay. If it rains, we will stay. That is what? That is first conditional. Yes. So we have understood the various concept of conditional mood. Yes. Various types of conditional mood. Yes. Zero conditional, first, second, third, and the mixed conditional along with the important rules. I hope it was helpful for you all. Like the subjunctive mode. Today I brought the conditional mood, which is very, very important for high-stake competitive examinations. I hope it was helpful for you all. And in the next upcoming videos, I'll be bringing some more important concepts, which is very, very important in English. Okay? Thank you, everyone. Keep watching. Let's meet in the next session.